Hey guys, I just want to do a quick first impressions on the neutral cards that we get on the Fire Slayers. And we're just going to run these cards down real quick. Maybe if you're interested in Shadespire, go ahead and play it. It's a really fun game, it's quick, and not a lot of smelly people in it. So the first card we have is Headlong Charge. I think it's a pretty good card. It's definitely going to help aggro Stormcast. It's obviously a very good card for Orcs, Fire Slayers, because of their limited mobility. That's pretty much it. Then we have Light Armor. Light Armor, in my opinion, is a bad card. Everything in Shadespire tends to die really fast, and I don't know. I think this is a trap card. It's not very good, and if you play it on something like a Stormcast, a Fire Slayer, anything, anything's gonna die. I could see this card kind of being good for Skaven and the zombie guys, the Sepulchral Guard, but other than that, I would not take this card. Next card is going to be Solid Stance. Again, I think this card is kind of a bad card. You definitely wouldn't take it as it doesn't really matter. I know a lot of people don't. They actually just tend to forget to push back. So it's definitely maybe a higher level play card, but I definitely don't see it in newer player decks or even I don't know intermediate range. I don't think it's a very good card. Next we have Vampiric Weapon. I think this card's going to be an auto include in a lot of decks, except for maybe Skaven and Sepulchral Guard. Definitely Fire Slayer, Stormcast, Khorne, and Orc. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then, all those armies have really high killing potential. And, well, yeah. It's pretty much an auto include. Next two cards I'm going to skip is Blazing Key and the Locket. They're pretty much win more cards. They're never going to they're not going to win you the game by themselves, at least in my opinion. Second in Command, given that a lot of people don't, this card is definitely a waste. It's definitely meta dependent, but it is definitely a waste in the current meta that we have now. We don't really want people don't really run cards that are kill the warband leader, and even if they did, it's very situational. I don't like this card. We have Light-Footed. For Light-Footed, definitely I feel like Stormcast, Orcs, Fire Slayers, they definitely want this card. It's a good support card. I wish it was a ploy card, but it is a play card instead of the equip card, but it's a pretty good card. We're going to move over to Shifting Image. I'm not a really big fan of reaction cards that have the crit dependent on them. It's too much RNG to have a stable comeback, especially on an attack, so I would say pass. Shadeglass Axe, sorry, I think is actually a trap card, as in it looks good, but any card that, especially an equipment card that requires it to be discarded after be successfully being used is bad. You've already wasted resources to obtaining glory, and you're essentially throwing away that glory point away. I could see it as a kind of win more card, but I don't think it's a very good card just because you have to discard it. If you couldn't, I mean, obviously it's so good that, it could kill anything, but do not include. Confused Priorities. Definitely for objective-based deck. Fire Slayer is pretty much an auto-include. Stormcast, definitely. Definitely for Khorne. Definitely not for Orcs. And obviously for the zombies, you would definitely want this card. We're gonna move on to Earthquake. We saw this in the preview. Obviously auto include. Move on to the next card called No Time. This one it's going to be very situational with the meta. If you play against a lot of Skaven, I would definitely suggest it, especially with some of the new objective cards that are coming out. We might see this more often, but currently, if the game didn't change, which it's definitely going to, I would not include this, but you're definitely going to see it. And next, we're going to see Trap. And Trap is just, I think it's really, really good. Just sometimes all you need is just one damage, and this is the card for it. Especially for armies like Sepulchral Guard, Skaven, Khorne, where you don't have big punchers, but sometimes you just need that one extra damage point to score you the glory. Definitely not include. I mean, I could see this in a Stormcast and Orcs armies, but they hit too hard to maximize this. It's kind of an empty slot. If you're not doing it, if you're not going to kill your opponent, then you're playing your deck wrong, in my opinion. I see you ready for action. This card, it's a very snowbally card. So I mean, it's a snowbally card, and at the same time, it's a very like get you back in the game card. If somehow you're behind and you drew this in your third phase, it could definitely turn you the game. I could see a lot of decks running this, and I think this is definitely going to sell more Fire Slayer cards. Legacy. This is another trap card, I think. The fact that you have to be adjacent, I don't see this being very successful, especially because people tend to just buff one minion and then just either leave it in the back or leave it in the forefront. And the way I've seen the game lately, I don't see this going anywhere. It's not a good card. Moving on to Tantalizing Prize. It's a good card. It speaks for itself. Moving on to the next card, Fueled by Fury. Pretty much an auto-include. You need this card in your deck. There's no way around it. Death by Throws. The thing that I really like about this card is the artwork. I'm not really a fan of it. I don't know. I don't like it very. I don't know. Maybe for Skellies and Skaven or Khorne, just like with the trap card. But this one, I don't know. Just not a fan of it. Definitely very bad if you're playing Orcs, because the Inspire. And this one, the last card is Darkness Descends. Skaven I believe Skaven get to shoot a lot more and have some range attacks. I know Khorne does too. So this card, I don't know, again, meta defining, depends on the meta. I would kind of skip this card. Artwork's cool, I guess. But anyways, that's all the neutral cards, the neutral ploy/power cards that come in for the Fire Slayers. And that's just my first impressions on them. All right, see you later.